Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the American Tennis Association National Championships. More than 500 players have made the trip to Orlando to compete at the USTA National Campus. For a tennis player, it's a thrill ride unlike any other, competing at the home of American tennis. Welcome to our live streaming coverage. Hang on to your seat. We have two finals about to get underway, both the boys and the girls 18-year-old divisions of the ATA National Championships. I'm Chris Michalowski. Yasmin Osborne is joining me. Tournament play in multiple age brackets have been underway here since Saturday from 10 years old to 75 of age. Yasmin, if you're a tennis player who thrives on competition, this event has it all.
Absolutely, Mick. It's so great to be here with you this morning at the USTA National Campus. You know, the ATA was established in 1916, making it the oldest African-American sports organization in the country. The ATA started these national championships 1 year later in 1917, so the winners of these matches today will be the 101st champions of the ATA. That's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, they're also going to join some pretty impressive past winners like our very own USTA president, Katrina Adams, Shonda Rubin, Leslie Allen, Zena Garrison, Althea Gibson, and Arthur Ashe.
Wow, what a lineup
group.
there. That's
Absolutely
fantastic. So now we're down to the finals of the boys 18s and the girls 18s. So let's meet the ladies first. It's a 1 versus 2 matchup, a battle of two Californians. Top-seeded Azaria Hayes Pinole goes against number 2 Hannah Moss of Culver City.
Absolutely. So like you said, it's a battle of Northern and Southern California.
Now, did I say Pinole right? Is that right?
I think it's Pinole.
Okay,
I
good.
think that's right. So Azaria Hayes, she's our top seed, and she's a rising senior. She has a little fun fact. She's playing with her sister, she's played doubles with her sister pretty much their whole career. And her sister, Asia, won the Women's Open Division on Monday. So they're here together, and I hope she's cheering her on there.
Wow, so how old is her sister? Do we know that?
I think her sister is 17.
Wow, congratulations to her.
Pretty amazing. And then we have Hannah Moss, and she's from Southern California. She's only 15 years old, and this is her very first ATA tournament. So
15 years old playing
Absolutely.
in the 18s.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yep, and getting to the finals of her very first tournament. So this should be a great showdown.
I mean, this is her first term ever?
Her first ATA tournament.
Oh, I was going to say, wow. Yeah, there she is right there. Well, congratulations to you, Hannah. All right, so the boys 18s has a slight variation to its script with a matchup of top-seeded Kent Hunter of Los Angeles versus number 3 Raymond Richardson, and he goes by Hugh, I believe, of Chicago.
Right. So Kent Hunter is also from Southern California. Believe it or not, he plays with Miss Hannah Moss in the same program, so that's pretty neat. And this is also Kent Hunter's very first ATA tournament. So 2 finalists, 2 very first times in the ATA. I'd say it's a pretty good run for both of them. He just finished his freshman year at Cerritos College, and that was an amazing year. We'll give you some statistics on that later. And he's playing against Raymond Richardson, and as you said, he goes by the name of Hugh. He's our number 3 seed, and he made it to the ATA Boys 18s finals last year. So
Wow, so he's no stranger to this court.
no stranger to this court, back again and trying to get that championship this year. He is a 2018 graduate of De La Salle Institute, so congratulations to him for getting that degree.
Wow, that's great stuff. So let's hear a little bit about you, since we've got some time before the match. I want everyone to get to know us a little bit, just so hopefully they can relate to us, maybe when the match is over someday. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Sure. So I am on staff here at the United States Tennis Association. I get to work every day at this beautiful national campus. So I am the manager of diversity and inclusion, and our overall goal at USTA is to promote and develop the growth of tennis, and then our departmental goal is to make tennis look like America. So one of the main things that I particularly do is work with organizations like the ATA and just try to make sure that they are a great partner with us. And one of the things that we like to do is continue to support this tournament every year. So we have it for the very first time here at the USTA National Campus. It's a very amazing thing for the both of us, for both USTA and ATA. And we're just hoping that they've had an amazing experience, and we'll just want to come back year after year.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know a lot of them. They said, hey, it was a little bit warm this week, too, out there. We had a few little knockdowns. But overall, the rain kind of held off until after play was over, which in Florida here, it rains almost every day. I think just the other day on the radio, I heard they said it's rained 19 days in a row.
That's amazing.
But the matches get over, just because this is a 100-court facility, the matches get over in plenty of time, so they don't have to battle the rain, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And for the first time, this tournament, it has, like you said, 500 plus people. This is the first time they've ever been able to play both the adult and the junior divisions at the same site. So it's kind of a family atmosphere, and there's a lot of families playing. So fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, all from the same family playing in multiple divisions at the same time. So it's really nice just to be able to kind of walk across the campus and watch your family play their matches. So I've seen a lot of that this week. And
yeah, because you never see someone really, because I kind of have my little office down there where the blue umbrellas are there, but I see families walking together all the time. So it looks like the ladies' match has started already, and Azaria has elected to serve, and so we're excited to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so first serve for Hannah, actually.
So, Mick, I walked outside this morning, and I think between the house and the car, I think it heated up about 5-10 degrees. So I hope these ladies are hydrated and ready to go. It is hot out there.
Right. Oh, it's very hot. And just for our viewers there on the screen, it says there's a yellow mark by Azaria's name. It's actually Hannah is serving in this first game. She's up 4 love, so she's gone off to a great start. Her love 40, so she's on to a bad start. See that little yellow? There we go. Now I'm on. All right, so she's got a triple break here right off the bat. So let's see if she can pull it together in this first game. Yeah, she's got a little 2-point stance there, which is great. You know, you don't see that a lot in junior tennis these days, but a lot of good balance on that and a lot of good push. Going for a second serve here, Azaria stepping up to the baseline. Beautiful serve, good second serve. You know, in these first few games, you know, they're just really trying to establish a rhythm right now. You're not going to see, you know, they're going all out right now. It's warm. They're probably a little bit nervous, so just trying to get a rhythm going. You know, one thing I did as a coach, I was a teaching pro for 30 years, and once a month we went to tournament after tournament. And one of the keys at the beginning of the matches are really just to try to establish your group, get your groove going, so you can continue on throughout the match. And so you can see here where Hannah is trying to do that right now, missing a lot of first serves right now. Her second serve, though, looks really good. She's got a great second serve. Doesn't look much different than her first serve, to be honest.
You know, Mick, I've been playing tennis since I can remember. I think I played my first USTA tournament when I was about 8 years old. And my first game strategy was just to hit out as much as I could because my hands were shaking. So I had to get those shakes out.
So you hit that punching bag just to get it, and that was a game by Azaria there. As you saw there, Hannah in the middle of the point there, it's a pretty deep ball and tried to change direction of that and go off the line. In tennis, if you don't know this, you know, 80% of the points are won on errors, and 80% of those errors are caused when we try to change direction of the ball. So if you got a ball coming at you across court, you better have a good reason to go up the line. And there are some good reasons to go up the line. Some are on short balls, some are on, you know, if your opponent has a definite weakness, but it's pretty tricky to change direction of the ball. Let's see what's going on over to the guys. I think they've started over there, so let's check out if we can over there. All right, so it looks like Hugh is serving to Kent Hunter. Hugh Richardson is the very first point. I'm glad we caught it right there. He elected the serve, very first point of the match. He is the number 3 seed. Kent Hunter receiving serve over there, the number 1 seed. And Hugh just had a little bit of nerves there, double faulted on the first point, but I can guarantee you that's definitely going to change throughout the match.
Definitely.
Beautiful day here at the National Campus. All right, and once again, just trying to establish those rhythms, you know, get the butterflies out so we can get it going. Nice deep return by Kent over there. It looks like we got a couple of bangers here. All right, great shot, though, by Hugh there. Right move right there. Just missed it wide. Nothing wrong with that. Really trying to work those cross-court patterns right off the bat. It looks pretty good out there. And once again, just trying to really establish himself in this first game.
Absolutely. Got to shake off those nerves. They look like I have a pretty good little group over there, people watching. You know, I think it's always more difficult to play in front of your peers. If you're kind of at a tournament, you don't know anybody, you can just kind of hit out. But like I said, it's a family atmosphere out there. You're playing against old teammates, you know, people that you see once a year, people that you've played against before, new friends. So I think it can be a little more nerve-wracking in this particular event.
Well, that was a great first serve. It looks like he got his groove back. Wide ace on the deuce side. Now, in this match, my son actually just finished his class, so we flipped a coin, and I'm having him chart one of the matches. And this is one of the matches he's charting, so he's sitting there in the bleacher in the blue shirt. So after this first set is over, we're going to get a chance to take a look at some basic statistics of what's going on in this match. 15-30. First serve is wide. Got a good kicker, though, in the second. All right, a little off balance on the backhand. If you saw there, he kind of lagged with the footwork there. He could have taken actually a couple little steps there just to keep his balance underneath him. He decided to kind of reach for that ball, which threw him off balance, which forced an error. Hopefully he can get those feet moving a little bit more, stay in balance, so he can stay in the point a little bit longer. 15-40 first serve. He likes that wide serve.
Yeah.
And if you notice there, serving to Kent's backhand is pretty effective, but on that ad side, hopefully, I'm sure he knows he's a lefty, but he's trying to go wide on him, but it's worked twice in a row to him going to his backhand. Hopefully he picks that backhand here on the ad side.
So Mick, being a coach for so long, when you're here at this very first game, you said you're trying to establish yourself. Are you trying to establish to your opponent? Or are you just trying to let them know the weapons that you have? Are you trying to see what they have? What are you doing here in this first game?
What you're trying to do, there's one great trick during the warm-up. I was told my kids, if you're not sure who your opponent is, and you go out there in court in the warm-up, hit your first ball right at his belly button. Most every player will slide over to their strength in the warm-up, so you can find that out. But what you're really trying to do is just get your game going, because really you want to focus on your game first, because we may say something like, hey, Kent's a steady baseline player, so these are all the things you want to do against a steady baseline player, but those things might not be what you do. So we're going to take a look at that last point right here. All right. Again, serving to Kent's forehand. All right, Kent loves taking that ball up high on that forehand side, and he's really dictating the points right there. And as you can see there, great time to come into the net, because Hugh was running laterally real fast along the baseline. So it was a great move by Kent, not to necessarily wait for the short ball, but to realize that he's wounded his opponent and follow that into the net, because now when he takes that volley, he's got his opponent way out of position off the court instead of waiting for that ball, one more shot to allow his opponent to get back in position. So great play by Kent there. But like I said, what you really want to try to do is establish your A game. You always want to go out there and focus on your A game first, not worry too much about your opponent, because that may be all you need to really win the match. But if you're worried about, I had a girl that always worried about what her opponent did and tried to counter those things. And I said, Melissa, just do what you do. You would have beaten her easily. But now you're playing your B and C game. Play your A game, and if that doesn't work, then go to your B game and your C game.
Right.
Great first serve by Kent there. So they both like that wide serve on the deuce side. I don't think that Hugh was really expecting that right there. 15-love for Kent Hunter, the number 1 seed.
Now, one thing that's interesting is Kent has a year of college under his belt, year of college play, and Hugh just finished high school, and he's had some play, but not at this collegiate level. So I wonder if that will make any difference in just how quickly they start out, or how quickly they get confident in their game. We'll see.
I think, that's a great point. Yes, I mean, I think any time you're starting to play against the big boys and the big players, that just adds to your confidence.
Absolutely.
And but I've seen my 14-year-old get taken down by a couple of 11 and 12-year-olds too. So anything.
That's the beauty of tennis. Anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen. Oh, he's got that inside-out slice there on the backhand side, which threw Hugh off a little bit. Hugh just needs to, you can see how he's kind of walking slow right there, taking his time. I think he's really just trying to figure out what Kent's up to. You can see Kent's walking a little bit more, what's the word, confidently out there at the beginning of the match. Hugh is taking his time, and hopefully he's doing that just to try to really get himself kind of fired up. Yeah, so on the women's side right now, on the girls' side, Azaria is up 3-0 right now. We're gonna change back to that match in a moment after this game. But right now, Kent's really controlling that point from the baseline, looking to move on in. Net court by Hugh, and of course Hugh put up his hand and said, "Oh, sorry." All right, let's take a look at that. Hugh put up his hand and said, "Oh, I'm sorry," but deep down, when you're down love 40 and 1-0, you're probably not all that sorry. But right there's a net court right there. Very difficult unless you're Johnny Mack or somebody to really have the timing to really take care of that ball. Got 40-15 for Kent in the second game. Another wide serve. Hugh just neutralizing that serve. And Kent let that ball drop a little low. If you notice in the last few games, he's only played 2, that he likes taking that ball nice and high. So Hugh might want to take note of that and say, you know what? Oh, he missed that low ball. Maybe I should really try keeping balls a little bit lower to create those errors. Both these guys have great looking serves. Yeah, he likes that ball right there. He was kind of loosened up a little bit too, you can see right now, and that's the ball you want to follow in right there. So when he hits that ball, he didn't need to, Great backhand.
Nice
But that's
winner.
the ball. When you see that you've wounded your opponent way off the court like that, he's not hitting anything big back. Follow that in and take time away, because like we said, taking time is key in tennis, and that's probably the number one way to create unforced errors in tennis, is taking time away from your opponent.
He came in there with the blazing first
Yeah, I was
serve.
going to say, Ken's like, okay.
So I don't think he liked that time that it was taken from him on that
Yeah,
last one.
he didn't like it at all. All right, so we've got an ad for Mr. Hunter here.
Let's see what he's
Hugh
gonna do
coming
with
back
this
great,
serve.
though. Did a great job here. I mean, I think it's just like an Agassi was kind of always a slow starter, too. So Hugh looks a little bit looser, getting into his groove.
Oh,
All
a little
right.
bit of a miss hit there.
All right, he's getting there, though. So that's game for Kent, and I think we're going to head on over to the girls' match where Hayes was up 3-0.
Looks like she's up 30-love in this game as well. So Hannah's going to need to find her groove here.
Yeah.
You know, Mick, one other thing, going on in this particular atmosphere, it's hot out there. So aside from just your mental toughness and trying to figure out your game, I mean, your physical fitness really needs to be up to par on a day like today.
Yeah, and your mental game as well, because that can really affect you just mentally, thinking about, instead of thinking about your forehand, just thinking about how hot you are. So you've got, beautiful pass by Hannah up the line. All right, we'll take a look at that again, and let's take a look at the approach shot by Azaria here and see where she didn't really put Hannah in that much of a defensive position, so she really had a chance to step in and hit that pass. All right, well, we may come back to that, but got to make sure in that approach shot you're putting your opponent in a defensive position so that you can still control the point, because if you're up at the net and you lose control of that point, now you might be in a little bit of trouble. All right, so Hannah storming back in this game, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, she's like, take that. I'm not.
Need to get a game in there.
Exactly. But again, it's her first time, like you said. It's her first time here, right?
Yes.
So I believe that's game for Azaria. I think that was in. So it's deuce. Hannah, like you said, it's hot out here. A little slow in the recovery right there. So Azaria took full advantage of that. That deep ball really helped her too, because it helps get by your opponent a little bit faster. But going back to that heat, you're so right. It just really, you've got to be in good shape, and you've got to just mentally play 1 point at a time. And when you can just play 1 point at a time, just as a player myself, when I played junior tennis, you kind of forget about all those external factors, and you just worry about the points, and you forget how hot it is. But if you start thinking about stuff like that, big trouble.
Looks like an unforced error there.
Yep, and she kind of waited flat-footed for that return. Really, if you look at Azaria's second serve there, I believe that was her second serve. I hope it was, but not a very big serve. I think Hannah has to say, look, I can step up into this and do something with that, because it's weaker, and it has to be a short ball. It has to land in the box, and so there's no need to wait on that. If you can step up on that, go for it. So let's take a look here. A little bit big on the first serve, a little slow with the racket head acceleration there, causing that ball to go long. She's got to snap through that maybe a little bit quicker. See how she waits, though, for that? See how she didn't really move in for that? And really, she could actually stand up on that a little bit more, take that ball a little bit earlier, and I think for her, she'd be better off than waiting for the ball to come back to her, come up and bounce up as high as it is. But again, it might just be pre-match jitters.
I think that's what it is. It looks like their games are pretty evenly matched. So I think Hannah's just starting off a little more slowly and maybe just trying to find her groove here. So
right, but you better get it going quick here in the first set, because this is it's 4-0 now. So.
Yeah, and that doesn't help with the jitters.
Yeah.
But if you can just kind of slow down and play one ball at a time, just focus on getting those balls in the play. I've had many matches like this. When I was my first year, freshman year in college, I think maybe 90% of my matches, I was down something like 0-4, 0-5, first set almost every match, won every match. So my coach called me the heart attack kid. So I just come back. But it took me forever to get started. I was so nervous all the time.
So the key against you was to really sandbag so you could win a couple games and you'd be out of your element.
That's right. I was waiting for my opponent to relax.
Wait, I'm up 2-0. This isn't right.
Right.
I'm supposed to be down 2-0.
I just enjoyed playing three setters. That's all. My strategy when I got nervous, I just said, just put the ball in play. 10 times, just like a clinic.
Yeah, and Hannah right now, I mean, that'd be a pretty good strategy right now. Just say, okay, look, I gotta just keep the ball in play, because if you can't do that, you're really not going to build up from there. And the step one is get the ball back.
Right.
If you can't get past that step, well, how are you going to move the ball around? How are you going to hit the weaknesses? How are you going to change the heights a little bit and spins? It's going to be difficult if you can't do that with your bread and butter shots. She's thinking about it, though. She looks pretty focused there. She's taking her time. She still looks confident. First serve, 30-15. Yeah, great second serve. All right, and you're just seeing where, and this is normal too, you're not seeing very many points go past 4 shots.
Right.
I mean, so, and typically, like in the men's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig O'Shaughnessy, but I think it's like 2.7 in the men's and like 3 point something in the women's, in terms of length of point. So those first few shots are extremely important. And if you think of it in those terms, if it's 3 shots, well, the serve and return make up 2/3 of the game. And they both have pretty good serve, especially Hannah. I like her serve.
Again, we just need her to get it in the box.
Yeah, it's just a little slow on the racket head speed. Much better racket head speed on that second serve. Great return there by Azaria, though. That wide return, pulling her off court.
Go on right now.
All right, 30-40, another break point for Azaria. Now, as a player there, like in this match here, all the first serves that I can remember I've seen have gone long. And so you've got to say to yourself, okay, first serve going long again. Okay, there's 5-0 right there. Let's head on over to the boys match. Looks like they're in the middle of a rally right now.
When you have to rely on that second serve, you're just really giving your opponent the opportunity to really just come in and take an aggressive return, kind of take the advantage there.
And mentally, think about it. When I'm returning serve against you, even if your serve isn't all that great, and I'm returning serve against you, as a first serve, what's my mindset is, okay, first serve, just get the ball back, punch it back or whatever. But as soon as you miss your first serve, even if you have a great second serve, now I'm on the offensive mode. So mentally, as a server, it's so important to get that first serve in. So my advice to these players is, hey, look, if you're having trouble getting your first serve in, spin your first serve in, because at least you have them on the defensive. But as soon as you miss that, now they're thinking, okay, now I can do something with the second serve. I'm going to step on up. And that's exactly what you don't want. You want your opponent thinking more on the defense. So hit a first serve at 70%, and then start making that 8 out of 10 times, and then you'll see that your confidence will go way up. And when you pick it up to 90%, it's going to be there. And see, and most players will just miss and miss and miss and miss. And so, just mentally, it's so huge to make that first serve and keep your opponent in that defensive position on the return. All right, let's do a replay on that last point. It looked to be a pretty good point. I just got caught up in the serve there, but again, Hugh. Smart move, trying to keep the ball low on the backhand there. Very smart. A little short there. He took that short ball, but again, he waited on that ball right there. There was a pretty short ball that Kent hit, and Hugh let that come to him, and he was just thinking about hitting the big shot almost, instead of saying, you know what, move in on that, take it early, plan on hitting another shot. It wasn't a ball to wait on. You could almost see in his mind that he was going, okay, hit this one big. And he didn't do anything. He didn't move to that ball enough. Great first serve. Oh, yeah. Tried to wrong foot him, but he guessed wrong. We both are like, whoa.
To him.
But smart. I mean, Kent's a pretty fast guy, and against fast players, you want to hit behind him a lot. So, he had a wide open court there, but Kent said, you know what, I'm not falling for that, Hugh. I'm right over here. But, I don't know. It was right to him, so he could have been thinking about it just a little bit, running to the open court.
And what I love is Hugh's going to hit an unforced error to lose the game before, but then he's going to come right out and just aggressive to the net.
Yeah, right there again.
Try to change something up, so that's great.
Yeah, and if you look at that approach shot he hit right there, the reason he won that point, and this is key in hitting an approach shot, is he kept the ball deep. And depth is definitely your number one weapon in tennis, because that ball, even though it might be going slower, is going to get by you a lot faster because it's deep. And so you're not allowing him to step in on it, which keeps you in control of the point. Second serve for Hugh here. Making sure that ball's out of his way. I mean, it seems like these two guys, I mean, it was so great watching them before the match. They were sitting on the benches talking to each other. Great competitors, very respectful. I mean, that's just so good to see in junior tennis because you don't see that a lot. Hugh's got the right moves there, trying to keep that ball a little bit lower. You might want to think about that a little bit more. Because every time he's given Kent, and it's only been like 3 or 4 times that I've seen though, but anytime he gives him a low ball, he gets a pretty neutral ball back. He's not getting hurt. But when he sets that ball up a little bit higher, now he's a little more vulnerable. All right, let's head on over to the girls over here. We're at set point for Razia Hayes. And they're set right there. All right, so that is first set for Razia. Azaria. I get that mixed up a little bit, but I'm going to get that eventually.
Razia's got a Nate. Maybe she'll like that.
Yeah, she might like that change. Okay, Azaria. All right, I do know an Arazia, though, and that's what throws me off. So, Azaria, here we go. Yeah, we better go back. Let's go back to the boys. So they're a little bit easier to pronounce for me, I guess. And great first set, though, by Azaria. So Hannah's got some work to do to bring this match back to even. All right, so Hugh down a break, but serving at 40-15. All right, looks like he was maybe, I'm not sure if he was questioning that serve a little bit or just wanted him, or just respectfully to get out of the way so his opponent didn't get hurt. I'd probably choose number 2 there just by watching him talk on the bench before the match started. All right, there we go. Okay.
All right, this is shaping up to be a really good match.
All right, so he's still down a break, but I think he's picking his game up as it progresses because those first couple of games you could see he started off a little bit slow. So Hugh, whoever is a Hugh fan out there, is hoping that that is the case and that he just finally got his groove going, and now he's just got a little bit of work to do to try to break Kent's lefty serve back, which could be quite difficult. Plus he's got some good kick on that, but he'll figure out a way.
And these guys have some pretty bright tennis futures ahead of them. I believe that Kent played, like I said, a year of college at last year at Cerritos. I believe that's how you say it, Cerritos. But really cool thing about him is he will attend UC Santa Barbara in the fall on a full scholarship.
Wow.
Now that's not something that typically happens for the boys. So.
And he likes to drink a lot of water too. You can see he's got like a gallon jug there, and he's almost done with it. So he's just that's what the heat'll do to you. But he's staying hydrated. So he's got a full ride out there.
Full ride.
Oh.
We'll start in the fall, so that's awesome.
Good for him. Mm-hmm. He's fired up, man.
And then Hugh is looking to go to Morehouse in Atlanta. So I'm assuming he'll be trying to play tennis there as well. So that'll be a great experience.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, college tennis is nothing like college tennis. I mean, I love the juniors, but it was just such a great part of being on a team. It's like high school,
right.
You know, same thing.
Right.
You know, being on a team, it's just kind of at another level, a little more intense,
right.
and it's just such a great experience. And so, for anybody out there, you know, it's amazing how many players who play high school don't think that they can play college tennis. I mean, it's and there's so many division. You know, there's Division 1. Oh, I'm not going to play for University of Michigan, so I guess I'm not going to play. But there's so many great Division 2, Division 3 teams out there, and I played my first year because I transferred from University of Cincinnati to Fair State University as part of their professional tennis management program. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I played for Delta College, which was just a community college in my hometown, and I played number 1 for them. But every community college in Michigan had a good number 1 player, right. So it was an amazing experience for me. Some of the guys on the team just started playing a couple years before school, but they played college tennis. Right. So it's never too late to start playing, and you can always compete even on a college team if that's your dream.
Absolutely. I have a similar path. I played Division 1. That was my tunnel vision goal. Must play D1, must play in the Big 12, which is the Big 8 at the time.
Right.
So I did all my recruiting visits, got scholarships to all the schools, and I chose Kansas State University, and didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
Wow. And Division 1 is like a full-time job,
right,
too.
And it was not the balance that I wanted. I really wanted to go to college and do well in college and have a little bit of fun. Nothing wrong with that at
Right,
college.
not at all.
And that was
I think
just
I had a
not-
little fun too myself, actually. But we'll talk
That's
about
just
this some
not what
other
I was
day.
afforded on that team. So I transferred to a Division II school and had the time of my life. And the competition was just as tough, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just a lot of pressure in Division One. Not that that's bad, because a lot of us like to, that's just that next step to where they want to go. It's a stepping stone. But for me, I played, at Ferris State, and that was a Division II school, and it was perfect for me. I had time to get my schooling in, but I had time for tennis and for teaching too through professional tennis management.
Absolutely.
Oh, Kent running around that backhand, just
That was
ripping
nice.
that forehand up the line, that inside in. All right, let's take a look at that. All right, and you can see just footwork-wise, Kent just moves really well. Takes that split step every time his opponent makes contact, moving around that well. But look at the balance and see that extra step he took right there. He took one extra step to hit that ball just to make sure that his body was in the right position to hit that ball properly. And that he didn't think about that. That comes naturally, and it comes naturally because he works on that every single day, which is obvious. Again, look at that. Great balance.
He said it worked for me once. Let me try it again.
Yeah, I guess it's going to work
for me
again.
twice.
Okay, so 4-2. Now, if you want to know what I mean by balance, a good way that you can visualize this, when you watch a player play, just watch their upper body. You want to make sure your center of gravity is completely beneath you. But if they had a stack of books on their head, all right, if you lean over at the waist, that stack of books might fall off. Or draw an axis through their head and out their bottom into the ground, and you'll see that axis is straight. It's not bent left or right or front to back, even when it returns serve there. And you can see how it just makes them much easier to move, and that puts your body in a much better position naturally to hit the ball and to utilize the ground. Once you get out of balance, it's hard to utilize the force of the ground because now you're all upper body there. And just so draw that line between his head and out his bottom into the ground, and watch how he rotates around that. And he moves his feet to be able to do that, and that's what you see the top players are doing all the time.
Absolutely.
And that's why they can hit on the run so well. It's more important to hit on the run and be balanced than to stop and have your upper body go flying over you and then hit a shot just with your hands and your arms. Great split step there, and look at that. He's got that straight, that body there, and that's how he can rotate so naturally right there. Fantastic. And we'll let that one go right there in the net because again, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be bummed out about the volley there. He did everything right, and so he missed the volley. Nothing to get concerned about. Just keep doing what you're doing. And he was taking his time right there a little bit, which is good, not only because it's hot, but there's one thing you can control, and that's the pace of the match when you're down. And he's not going to let Kent control the pace of the match. Kent wants to get each point started real quick. Hugh's going to say, you know what, I might be losing, but we're going to start the point when I'm ready there, and that's a smart move. All right, so we're going to stay with this match, but Azaria's already up 1-0 in the second set over there on court number 3. All right, we want to see Hugh get through this game. This is a huge game for Hugh, and like they say in tennis, I mean, some people say this is true and some say it's not true, but they say the 4th point and the 7th game, and this is game 7 right here. So if he wins this game, he's still down a break. If he loses this game, well, he's down 2 breaks, and can't serve him for the set.
For the set, right.
Yeah.
So you've had 30 years experience with coaching, and I'm not sure how many years experience playing, but
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, I actually was a big baseball, basketball, football player, and I started playing because my best friend was ranked 2 in the country at the time. So when I was 13, I started playing
wow,
tennis.
okay, so you came to it late.
Yeah, so I
Well,
came to it a
quote,
little bit
unquote,
late.
So what does a player need to do? All of these things you're saying are so awesome. And of course, it's easier to kind of watch and see what everybody's doing. But what would be your suggestions for a player out there who needs to learn things like the balance and hitting the inside out forehand and, when to be aggressive, when to be defensive?
Well, I always had this progression sheet that I used to give to my students, and hopefully I can remember it offhand. But first step is, like we said with the girls' matches, get the ball in. All right, once you can keep the ball in play, then you can start moving the ball left and right. So you might hit to an open court or a definite weakness, and then you can worry about heights over the net, highs and lows, because now you're flirting with the net a little bit more, and then your next step after that is doing combinations of those things, and you moving up and back, getting your opponent to move up and back. Because as you can see, almost except for really Kent, all these players in these matches here are baseline players. Kent's the only one I've really seen. Well, I guess I've seen Hugh as well come up to the net a few times, but really trying to get your opponent off the net where they're comfortable. But now that takes a little more skill because you've got to start hitting short balls, and you don't want to hit a short ball that's, especially let's say to Kent here, that's up high because that's what he loves. So now you got to keep the ball a little bit lower. So, and then your next step is a combination of those. So you kind of go in order. You say, okay, get the ball back, move the ball left and right, keep the balls high and low, move my opponent up and back, and then do combinations, or what we call in tennis patterns of those. And if you're having trouble, you just back off to where you're comfortable in a match and say, hey, hopefully you can move it left and right, and so you can at least hit to someone's weakness. But very important just to kind of follow along those lines. But like we said earlier, whatever your game is, I mean, Kent obviously, or Hugh too, did something to get to the finals. So it's like when you're up 5-0 in the set. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes I see junior players make, especially. Let's say Azaria was up 5-0 in that last match, and typical mindset of a junior player, and myself included, was, okay, I just got to win one more game, get the ball back, don't make any mistakes. Well, that may not be how you got to 5. Continue what you did to get to 5. You don't want to change your whole game plan around at 5, and then all of a sudden now it's 5-1. Now it's 5-2. Now just keep doing what you're doing. So these guys, if you look at it tournament-wise, Hugh may say, all right, I'm going to keep doing what I did to get here. But if he loses this first set, or especially if you're down 2 breaks in the set, you may start saying, okay, what is Kent doing? Okay, I noticed earlier he doesn't like those low balls, so maybe I'll start slicing a little bit more, see how he can handle that low ball a little bit more. I know he's looking to hit his forehand because he runs around his backhand more, so he likes his forehand. So what if I hit low balls to his backhand side, see how that works? Because, he's down 2 breaks if he loses this game. All right, but luckily he won that game, so he's in good shape right there. But those are just some things, if you're down a break, it's no big deal. Like in tennis, you think, oh, I'm down 3-0. They're halfway to get into the end of the set. That's only one break well, it depends who serves first, but 3-0 is not a big deal if it's one break of serve. All right, now back to the girls here. All right, and it looks like Azaria, is going to, she's up at add point in this game, and unforced error on that forehand side. So Hannah is still alive, and hopefully can break right back here.
Right now.
Beautiful day, though, even though it's a little bit warm out there at the national campus. I remember I moved here from northern Michigan, so right now in northern Michigan, I think it's the same temperature as it is here, but not a lot of humidity. But I'll tell you, the national campus is just one thing I could not pass up. It's such a beautiful 64 acres, 100 courts. You got your collegiate, player development, Team USA,
all right here.
32 hard and clay courts right here. The Nemours family zone, which is just fantastic, and just the staff that works with these kids.
Absolutely.
Is amazing. And just a few things about our program here as we're watching the girls here. We have over 2,000 registrants weekly. And out of those 2,000, 1,000 of them are unique participants, which means some of them play in 2 classes a week to do that. And we have roughly 600 youth and 400 adults who participate in our programs here, and we have 30 pros. All right, we have 30 pros on staff that have to satisfy the needs of all those players, and we do over 100 hours of private lessons weekly. And right now we're in the middle of summer camp, and we have an average 115 campers every week for 10 weeks.
That's
and
amazing.
So just amazing, and the numbers are going up and up. I mean, we're breaking last year's records we thought were really high, and we're just breaking those records by like 30% this year. So obviously the staff knows what they're doing. But what's amazing for my son who's playing here, this is like Disneyland for him, right? And he's not playing against, when he was 12, he had to play against the high school kids. He's playing, and on Friday during match play day, there's all of a sudden a player here from New York, one from LA. They're just here for the weekend playing. It's just an amazing experience, not only for me working here and like you, I'm sure, but just for the players here, because you just see so many different players.
Yeah, I was just going to comment, as being a tennis enthusiast and tennis player myself, it really is a treat to come here every day. And you can just look out on all the courts and see all kinds of tennis going on. When the courts are full, it just really makes me happy. I absolutely love having the ATA National Championship here. This is a tournament that's been going on for so long, and it just grows and grows and grows every year. And I think it's been really great for me to be able to see this tournament happen here on this campus, and for the ATA participants just to kind of get a taste of what it's like to be here at the USTA National Campus. But absolutely love, you can come out here and you can see, kids on on all of the courts and just all levels. You can see every single level of tennis, from beginner tennis to our pros.
Oh, yeah.
Playing together at the same time. Wheelchair tennis. I mean, you just can see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you see 2 5-year-olds on like court 8 playing on the 36-foot courts.
Right.
All of a sudden, across the sidewalk over there, UC Tiafel playing over there with somebody.
I just have never seen anything
they're
like
right next door to each other. It's fantastic.
Tennis like never before, right?
Exactly. and the thing at my club, if we ran an event like this, when the event was over, we'd be like, whoo, man, okay, now we got a month until the high school girls mini camp starts. Here, we have another event like this next weekend. I mean, we have 150 events this year, and everyone is run just beautifully. I mean, when I watch our event staff, it's like they look like everything's in order. You don't see anybody stressed out. They are on top of things. And whether it's them or whether it's the Florida section or whoever, I've never seen anybody running around going, oh my gosh, it seems like everything's under control. And every weekend, sometimes there's 2 of these going on in the same weekend. For me, one of them was enough for 6 weeks.
Well, I think we have an all-hands-on-deck approach here. So the event staff has been really good about just allowing the USTA staff to kind of step in and help wherever we can. So I really love that. It's nice to kind of get your hands dirty in some of these events, rather than just being out there and watching them. So definitely an all-hands-on-deck approach. We all have the same passion. We want to see these tournaments be amazing. We want our customers to be completely satisfied. We want them to come back. So I really think we all work together just to make sure that happens.
All right, so now that we're back to talking about the match now, we just got so fired up about this place. To talk about this place, and we're both like so fired up. Yeah, no kidding, I'm fired up. Well, Hannah got the break back, which is great. So now she's got to be feeling a little bit confident because that's her first break of serve.
Right.
So now she says, okay, it might have taken me a set to get down, but now I know I can break her, and she should be able to. If you look at what's going on out there, she didn't break serve just due to nerves, I think. And now she's starting to get a little more confident. Bring Azaria up to the net. I'm not sure if that shot was in or out right there, but we'll find out in a minute. But you can see that just in her mind a little bit, she's walking around more confidently now. She's ready to go right now. See, that's a good sign. Trying some new things.
Well, that's the beauty of tennis. I mean, you can have just one small victory after another in every single point, and just kind of work your way back, work your way up. And what's beautiful about tennis, I used to do gymnastics. Gymnastics is you get one shot. You're doing your competition, you do your routine, and if you mess up, you mess up. In tennis, you can mess up an entire set, and then you've got a whole new set to try to start over again. So I love it. Every point is brand new.
And the great thing about gymnastics is you don't have to worry about talking to somebody about balance anymore because it's like, okay, you got that part down.
Right.
I could balance on my third toe on my left foot. So
you just have to worry about multiple flips.
Now look at her coming to the net, taking control of the point. Oh, yeah, you can tell she's changed some things up right there, and just her mindset. See how she walks a lot more confidently now. She's ready to go.
Maybe she's found her groove a little bit.
Yeah. And if you look at Azaria, she's made a few unforced errors that she typically didn't make in the first set, and it's just a cup. It's like that one break can make the big change. All right, so let's head on over to the boys match. It's almost set point over here, so we're going to head on over to the boys. All right, you can see Hugh kind of walking there a little slow, head down a little bit, and that's why, because he's down love 30. So he's got to figure this out right now. Still down that one break, though. He can pull this game out. He can pull it out. But win or lose this game, either way, he can still come back and win this match. And he's got to think of that all the way through this match. He can't let the first set get him down, or even the way he's playing in the first set kind of get him down. He's got to walk around and go, you know what? I earned my way here to the finals. So I played some great tennis to get here, and I'm gonna get it back. All right, second serve by Hugh Richardson, the 3 seed. All right. Keep it now. Look at that forehand right there. See what he gave him? Now, he gave him topspin forehand, but if you look at Kent caught that ball what? He caught it low. I don't know if we can go back to that shot or not. If we could, that'd be great. But you can see, like we've been talking about earlier, that Kent doesn't like those low balls. And watch right here. Look, Kent lets that drop a little bit. Oh, I don't like that. And so Hugh's got to recognize that and say, okay, he's got to put that in the memory bank. And go, all right, low ball again. Missed another low one. And if you can put that in there, there's lots of stuff going on through your mind out there. I'm in the finals. You know, it's on YouTube and Facebook Live. That kid in the blue shirt's charting my match,
Right.
and he's going to go report on it after the set's over. You know, oh yeah. So,
This is where a lot of match play comes in. Kent had a pretty amazing record last year. He was 28-1.
whoa.
Right, and including 19-0 at number one singles.
Sounds like a boxer.
Right.
How many knockouts did he
Right.
have? TKO was probably a few.
Just one for him. So he was named to the 2018 JUCO All-American Singles team, which is pretty awesome, and the JUCO All-American Doubles team. So he's had a good amount of match play, probably been in this position plenty of times. When he was a junior, he competed pretty heavily in the men's opens tournaments and at USTA Southern California as well. So match play for him.
Yeah, and Hugh probably knows that coming into the match. He's like, oh, great, I got to play Kent this match. This is not going to be a lot of fun. This guy's 28-1, and he beat my buddies, and so that gets you. So you just got to erase all that,
Right.
get it all out of your mind, and say, okay, right now, guess what the score is? Well, it's 0-0.
Right.
Because of second set is starting. So it's all even up again. I used to play this guy, and I'd win the first set 6-1, and he'd go, all even. I'm like, all even? I just won 6-1. What's the score? 0-0.
Right.
And just mentally, just going, okay, that's done. First set. All right, so let's go back over to the girls' match because Hannah is up 2-1. All right, she's got a little momentum going from that break that she had earlier. And one thing I noticed with Hannah is she's starting to put a little pressure on Azaria by coming to the net a little bit more, not just hanging back. You know how we said earlier she was waiting for the ball and waiting for the ball. Well, she's not waiting anymore, and you can see that's making a big difference, and I think she's recognized that, which is fantastic. All right, Azaria's up 30 love, though, but still, I think this is going to be a much different set than it was the first set. All right, tough ball. Now Hannah got away with that one right there because she was off the court, hit an inside backhand to Azaria. Azaria didn't have to move at all. All right, so let's take a look at that. Azaria pulls her off the court right here, and watch, it's not this ball here, it'll be the next shot after this. And it's okay if the next point started off. So here it is right here. That ball should have gone cross court because if that, see, when you get pulled off the court like that and you decide to go down the line or hit to an inside backhand, it's coming into the player. All right, you're going to be on the move for that next ball. You've got to hit that back cross court to give yourself time to recover. All right, and that's what Azaria did right there. She got pulled off the court, and you saw where she hit it back cross court because now the open court's down the line, which is much easier to get to than the other way around. When you go down the line, your opponent hits cross court, the ball's moving away from you. When they hit down the line, the ball's moving toward you, so it's easier to cut off. And Azaria figured that one out right there, even though she missed the ball. All right, Hannah's looking for another break right here.
Inside out forehand. Wow. Might as well go for it.
All right.
Was it in?
Yeah, that was in.
All right.
And that's a good time to hit up the line, though. Again, because it's just so difficult. When you can run around that backhand, it freezes your opponent because they really don't know where you're going to go. If Hannah would have taken that as a backhand, Azaria would have known right where to move cross court from her shot. But since she ran around it and took that as a forehand, it made her freeze a little bit.
Well, Hannah's definitely got a little more pep in her step, and she's definitely trying a few new things. So.
Yeah, you can see how she's in the no man's land there. She's moving into the court. All right, now probably I'm thinking that was out just by her reaction right there, but maybe not. Maybe that was.
Oh wow, I thought it was out too.
Yeah, she.
All right, 2-all. Here we go.
Okay, so that was out right there.
Let your tennis win. Come on.
I think she might have thought. Oh.
Yeah, so she thought the one before was in because
Right.
she gave a deal fist pump, and I guess Azaria corrected her on that one.
Okay. Well, here we go. 2-all.
All right, taking her time, remembering how she got to 2. This is great. Trying to build on that momentum. Way to get down on that deep, low backhand right there. Good job. And again, for her, that was more of a defensive shot. Azaria had a good deep ball, but if you can see how she got down low with that, so to keep her upper body from her waist up the same, instead of lunging over, off balance. Great job by Hannah right there to stay in the point. Good deep first serve. Follow that good move right there. All right, so no. I'd say to her right now, if I was on her coach working with her right now, saying, hey, don't worry about it. You did everything right there. You almost did something wrong. You can see to where she almost didn't follow that ball into the net, and she almost retreated right there, but then she pulled it off, and she still hit it above net level. So keep doing what you're doing, because you know what? That's what got you to number 2 right there. You haven't had any numbers on your side of the board until you start doing that. So you're going to make some errors, but just keep the momentum going. All right, I can see maybe that missed volley affected that service right there. Just got to throw it out the window. Take your time. Take a deep breath. All right, now she's back up in the line. That's good. Looking to take it early. All right, yeah, a little frustrating right there for sure. I mean, that's the shot that she thought she made the last time. She's doing all the same things. But
so here's my next question, Coach Mick. You're in a situation like this. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and your shots aren't falling in. What do you do?
Well, for her shots were falling in for 2 games, and now she's come across a little bit of a lull right there. So that I would, she seems like she's, in a way, she's trying to keep the points going, because when you're winning, you want to keep the points moving along. When you're losing, you want to try to stall a little bit more, or just not, because when you're winning, the winner's up there ready to go for the next point, and then your job is to kind of control the pace of the match. But she might want to take a little bit more time there, and just to really think about, it doesn't seem to me like great forehand right there, that she's not taking enough time to decide what she wants to do. She's just kind of riding that, thanks a lot, all right. She's riding the coattails of those first 2 games that are saying, nope, I got to keep thinking the same way I was, And if she's falling down or losing a little bit of momentum, go ahead and take your time.
Awesome. So it looks like we got some numbers in here. I'm interested to see what that first set's going to look like between Kent and Raymond.
Yeah, so it looks like, and I'm going to work on a few numbers here, so it might take me a couple of seconds here. So I'm going to let you kind of talk a little bit about this match right here, but I'm going to give you some really interesting stats.
Yeah, you got out the calculator, so
yeah, that's really
getting
important.
Very serious.
Okay, and 12 divided
So here we
by
go again with Hannah. She getting into those points quickly now. Missed the first serve. Let's see what she's going to do with the second serve here.
Okay. 1 to 2. 1 to 7. Okay, so I just really quickly, thanks to Harrison Michalowski for charting that first set of the boys match. And let me just tell you something about charting. And I used to, when I was a touring coach with my junior players, I was coaching just some good high school players, Midwest level players, maybe a couple of national players, but really most of my players were sectionally ranked players. And when I used to watch, and you can watch this in the pros as well, and the guys fell right into the trap of the stats. And so I used to use what they called CompuTennis and bring a printer, a computer, give the kid, a 10-page printout when all he really needed to know was, my forehand stunk today. Right. He didn't need 10 pages to figure that out. So what I did is I just started to keep track of, all right, when they got their first serve in, what percentage of the points you win, and when they got their second serve, what percentage of the points they won. And then I also kept track, because when you watch the pros, you see they have, like, if you hit a winner, it's +1. If you hit an unforced error, it's -1. And so what you really want to do is be in the pluses if you can, and whoever's in the pluses, whoever has the best winner to unforced error ratio usually wins the set. Okay. So we're going to look at Kent and Raymond right here. And it's not the first serve, it's the second serve. If you look at the pros, you'll see the same thing about 90 to 95% of the time. The player who wins the set not necessarily has a better winning percentage off. Oh, great little kicker right there. Yeah.
All right, so she's ready. She said that's 3-2. Let me get over here to the side and hydrate.
But it's the player that has a better winning percentage on their second serve. And you see in the pros a lot of the pros are well under 50% on their, in the 30s and 40s on their second serve winning percentage, right? So let's take a look at the guys here. All right, I'm going to read the stats as we're watching the guys. So in the first set, All right, Kent won 82% of the points when he got his first serve in, but Raymond won 85% of the points when he got his first serve in, and it was just 17-14 first serves in. So that was real close. We're like, wow, that's a really close match. But let's look at the second serve. First of all, Raymond hit a lot more second serves, but when Kent got his second serve in, he still won 66% of the points.
Okay.
But when Raymond, who had a better first serve percentage, got a second serve in, he only won 29% of the points. So again, it's that second serve. That was much lower. So the person that has a better points won off second serve is going to win almost 90 to 95% of the time. Now, if you look at the winner to unforced error ratio, according to Harry there, Kent had 6 winners and 12 unforced errors. So he was at a 1-to-2 ratio of winner to unforced error. So for every one winner, he had 2 unforced errors. But Raymond Hugh was at 3 winners and 22 unforced errors, so approximately a 1-to-7 ratio. So you're going to see there where, again, whoever has a better ratio of winners to unforced errors is usually going to win the set. So you see Kent did that in both sets, in both categories right there. So real important. So if I were Hugh right now, I'd be saying, okay, let's start just not missing so much, because you notice at the beginning of that set he was making a ton of unforced errors, right? So I got to keep a few more balls in play, right, number one. And if you look at his second serve, he hit a lot more second serves. I mean, according to this, Ken only hit like 6 or 7 second serves, where Hugh hit 17. So he's got to say to himself, okay, so as a coach, I'd say, dude, get your first serve in more. You got to get your first serve in, and you got to stop making so many errors. Stay in the point a little bit longer. Be willing to hit 1 or 2 more balls, because Kent's not going to give it to you.
Right.
You know, he's going to stay in there. All right, but you're giving it to him by making those errors. So that would be my advice to Hugh. So let's see if we can overcome that. Kent, though, just
that was a
beautiful serve coming on into the net. So let's do a replay on that. All right, took that low ball, let's see. Again, look at his footwork.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that footwork. Not only did he take that split step at contact, all right, he took that back foot around on the volley so he could get those hips turned to hit that shot inside out and have his body in the same position that he does on a normal volley. So someone is working with this guy on his feet, because watch him hit from the baseline. Feet are splitting. Every time Hugh makes contact, you'll see Kent splitting. Let's see if we can see that right now. All right, second serve. So every time the ball hits Hugh's racket, let's look at Kent's feet here. Okay, right now, there's a split. Okay, and beautiful looking forehand. Took it up high. He's been doing that all day. If I were, and look, he walks back going, no big deal. That's what I do. I'm not always at 100%. Remember, I lost 1 match this year. I was 28-1, so I did lose 1 match. So I did.
Maybe you're just sick that day.
Yeah, really, yeah, or a bad test or something.
You know, Kent grew up playing in the Pete Brown Junior Tennis Program. That's one of our USTA and JTL National Junior Tennis and Learning programs. Hannah, like I mentioned before, is also from that program. Something really cool about it is they have the entire pathway in that program. So they bring the kids from, you know, the grassroots through the Park and Rec Association on through high performance, and they're sending these kids to college. Sending
That's
these kids
amazing.
to getting ITF rankings,
Hey,
and they can just stay kind of right there in that same program the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
So the NJTL really promotes that method and really supports programs like that. The ATA has a lot of different programs, high performance programs like that as well. And you know, here in the D&I department, we have program grants that we give out to a lot of programs like this as well. The point is always we want a entire pathway. So we want them to just come to the same program, local program, preferably, you know, in their local area, and just be able to try tennis for the first time, fall in love with it. And if they want to keep on that pathway all the way through, we'd love for them to just be able to stay right there in that same program the whole time.
Yeah, I hear so many good things about that program. I bet I'd like to see the percentage of just like a non-NJTL versus, okay, when you come in first, what's the retention rate?
Right.
Which is huge there, you know, versus not. And I think they just do some great things.
And NJTL is really into education, so there's homework help and tutoring and just all kinds of different things that the NJTLs offer, just to kind of keep kids engaged all the way through, keep parents engaged all the way through. We know tennis can be up and down. Sometimes it's not the only thing keeping you in a program, but you've got these other things.
Right, so you might be taking tennis just to be able to do quadratics.
You never know.
Hey, but you know what? You're sneakily getting better at tennis.
That's right.
If that's a word. Is sneakily? I don't think sneakily is a word.
I think we can make it a word for today. I like it.
All right, we'll keep it a word. Now, my only comment on that boys match there is you can see where Hugh just looks defeated a little bit right now. He's going, what am I going to do here? What do I have to do? And you can see where Kent is just, his shoulders are, high, he's walking confidently. Hugh is kind of just trying to figure out what's going on. Now, the difference, I think, in this match, though, I mean, obviously with the errors, but if you look at their movement, you can see where Kent is he moves beautifully on that court. I mean, his feet are always set, which helps him with his balance. And you can just see that in this match anyway, and I'm sure it's not the case for Hugh all the time. It's just a little bit, his feet are a little bit heavier, slouching over a little bit more. He's taking bigger steps. Like they say in the pros, and the numbers are different, but they say the average steps that a pro takes between shots. All right, what do you think? Between hitting one ball and hitting the next ball.
The average steps.
The average number of steps they take between hitting, like, let's say
8.
This shot, it's 14.
14.
All right, now what about the average college player? It's like 12 to 14. How about the college player?
I would think they would take less. They take more.
No, they take less.
Oh,
okay,
right,
you're right.
time.
Yeah. So they take.
Because the pros are taking their time.
They take, I think it's 8 to 10 steps between shots.
Right.
And what do you think the average high schooler high schooler takes? They take 6 to 8.
Wow.
So think about it. So a high school player is taking these big, long, lurchy steps that's forcing them off balance and out of position and lunging for balls, where a pro is taking little steps to keep their center of gravity underneath them.
In between balls in play. I was thinking in between points.
So
the pros are taking 14 steps in between
on the
shots?
average. I read that stat somewhere.
That's amazing.
So 14 steps, because they take little steps to keep their body in check, where a high school player is going to go kerplunk, 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 and lean over and try to hit the ball with their hand.
That's interesting.
Where the pros are running around shots.
So just getting right to the shot.
And it makes sense. I mean, it totally makes sense.
It does.
So you might say the better players, the players that are more successful, maybe, but footwork is definitely key, because that's where it all starts from, and that puts everything else in order and in line from the ground up.
I mean, I'm 5'1". Footwork was all I had.
Yeah, I was fast.
But it made a difference.
Yeah.
I could run down everything, and I did.
Just like Azaria did there, she ran that backhand down. But you can see right there where Hannah took time away from her. She saw that if we can go back to that point. All right, we're going to go back to this point. You can see where Hannah noticed she wounded her at the baseline. Not only was she running laterally, she was running away from the baseline. So if you just close into the tee there, you're going to get a weak lob or a weak passing shot. So right here, away from the baseline, and right there, she's taking time away. Now, what she did an excellent job of there is moving in to catch that volley above the level of the net, so she could take that time away instead of letting the ball drop below the net and hanging back, which she was doing in the first set, right? Yeah, so she's really starting to get a feel for, here's what I have to do.
She's got to keep going.
Except on that backhand.
Got to keep going.
But again, she tried to change direction of a deep ball to her backhand, which is difficult. If you hit that ball a little bit late, it's tough. That ball should have gone back cross court. That was not the time for her to go down the line on that ball, because it wasn't short enough giving her time to change direction. Because once a ball hits the ground, it loses a lot of speed. But if it hits the ground right next to you, it hasn't lost a lot of speed yet. So that's a tough ball to really control and change direction with. Well, she moved up fast to the baseline there.
I remember so many college matches where I just kind of had to go back to these drills that I would do, these cross-court down the line drills. So it's just cross-court down the line, cross-court down the line, just almost on any shot. I mean, it would help me with my nerves. It would help me find my groove. And a lot of my players, my opponents, they just weren't used to that. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And if you can connect that to in a match and connect the island of practice to the island of match play, you're going to be in great shape. Because I did the same thing. I was playing a kid. I was down like love 5, and I couldn't keep like 2 balls in a row in a play. And I played this girl, Meredith McGrath, who got to the semis at Wimbledon. She was like 9. I was like 17, but girl never missed. And I go, just imagine I'm playing with Meredith in practice. And as soon as I did that, boom, I started hitting balls back, just like you were saying. And when you do all those rep drills like that, and you can apply that naturally into a match without having to think about it, I had to think about it a lot, obviously. You're in pretty good
It
shape.
doesn't always work, but it did work sometimes. It worked quite a bit, actually.
Now, again, Hannah trying to change direction of that ball. Tough ball. You can see the frustration there. And it really, I don't know, that was a shorter ball, but it still wasn't the right ball. All right, so the guys here is about to be 4-0, but in this second set. Oh, beautiful serve by Hannah right there.
I know she enjoyed that one.
Yep, she was glad. And again,
So she's serving for this game here, and then she would be serving for her first lead, I believe.
yeah, so on serve, ready to go. All right, so we're going to stay here with the girls' match. The boys, Kent's up 4-0 in the second set. Hugh's got some work to do. Stay light on those feet. Now you can see where Hannah was kind of heavy on those feet. She kind of hit that ball, and then she just stopped.
Nice footwork.
And then again, then she had to take off again. And when you take off from 0, all right, that's throwing her off a little bit. But that's getting maybe a little too technical in this match. But I'm kind of a technical guy.
I enjoy it. I think in a non-technical way, she just wanted that point really bad. Maybe it was up a little bit.
I like it the way
That
you said it.
happens too.
I like it much better the way you said it than me trying to figure
In
it out for
layman's
myself
terms,
here.
she just wanted it.
I like it. Great forehand, though, by Azaria. All right, so was that?
I think that was the game.
That was the break right
We're a
there.
little bit
Okay,
delayed.
so I think we were just off a point there in that match right there. But that was break point right there. So Azaria breaks up 4-3. Now you see that was the 7th game right there. So it was 3-3 again.
Right.
Yeah, you break on that one. That's huge. Okay, you got to hold on that one. All right. Okay, now we're going back to 4-0. Kent Hunter, our first seed.
You know, one thing I failed to say about Mr. Ken is he is a lefty.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you caught that at first because he was trying to serve wide on both sides. I don't know if he was trying to serve wide or what at the beginning.
Yeah, I saw it in the first game and just I intended to mention it and never did.
But it just looks like Kent is just getting better and better and better as the match is progressing. And nothing against Hugh because he was trying to do some different things, and Kent just gets stronger and stronger, and he's not going down.
No, I think that just comes from the experience. I mean, I gave you his stats. He's got that year of college, and
He's been here before. He
and
was
he's
playing the
been-
finals last year, right? Is that right?
I believe that was Hugh.
Well, that was Hugh.
But Kent played all those open matches, when he was a junior, and then went to college, had that great junior college run.
Yeah.
And, I think sometimes things come down to match play. Just start settling in and kind of getting a feel for where the matches are going.
Yeah, so Kent up 40 love, trying to get a bagel in the second set. All right, and he's got one more game to do it after this if he can pull this game off. Beautiful. That back leg in that serve is phenomenal. Just kicks it way back. Got a little stuck there at the net, but look how fast he gets back. All right, no need to put your head down. I mean, he actually recovered from that volley because he did take a little slip going there, and look how quickly he got back for that ball to still take an overhead. He didn't even have to do like an over-the-shoulder gig. It's pretty impressive. Starting to hit a little bigger now. I think he wants to end this match as quick as he can. All right, you got to remember too out there, it's at least 10 degrees hotter out on the tennis court, especially on a hard court anyway. So it might be, let's say, 90 degrees out there, whatever, but it's well over 100 for these guys, plus the heat index and everything. So it's hot. But Kent's just, he's thinking like he's acting like he's in northern Michigan where I was, nice cool summer day, no big deal.
I was wondering how it was going to affect the California crew. I mean, it's a completely different type of heat out there, so they seem like they're
Yeah, it's kind of dry out there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot drier. I remember I played a tournament out there in Palm Springs, and it was 112
That's
off the
just-
court. And I played a guy from Miami, and during the warm-ups, I was like dry heaving, and he was like, by the end of the match, was like going, just toweling off the tap left or right here. I mean, I knew I was going down, and I went down big time.
It's definitely different sun out there. Different sun.
Yeah. All right. Back to the girls. All right, so.
Hannah's hanging in there.
Yep, she definitely is. And now she's down a break right here, but this is definitely a must-win for her. I mean, she doesn't have to, but it'd be a lot easier serving at 4-4 than even 5-5. Just we'll see. Azaria's, here we go. Taking that early. Good job. Feet are moving really well right now. Looks good. Great cross court. Throwing her off. Nice and deep.
No.
No, that wasn't a bad ball to go up the line on, though. I mean, she moved in. She got a nice high ball. It was her shot. She just missed it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's the most frustrating part when you set up and everything, and you're doing everything right, and just
it's a good miss.
miss right there at the top of that net.
So you did exactly what you need to do, and you got to keep doing it. You just got to do it, 60% of the time, and hopefully not on a big point. You want to make it, but that was the right thing to do. So hold your head up high, get rid of it, get ready for the next point.
That's a nice serve.
And she wasn't ready, and just a little frustrated on that. Because you just had a good point and then you just miss an easy return. Sometimes you take those for granted. All right, 40-15. Azaria Hayes serving to go up 5-3 at 40-15. Light on her feet, ready to go.
It's going to be exciting to keep an eye on these players. As I'm pretty sure all of them are going to play in college, which means that we have a chance to see him here on College Match Day playing in our collegiate center.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, College Match Day starts up in February again in 2019. We have 6, I believe, matches every year, and they're just amazing matches. It's on the Tennis Channel every year. They're coming back this year to broadcast those matches. It's a whole day event here with face painting for the kids, lessons for the kids. The kids take place in being ball boys and ball girls. It's just 1,000 people out here watching amazing Division I tennis under the lights.
And how about our collegiate center? I mean, can you imagine
my
if we'd
gosh.
have that in college? I mean, it's just amazing. They've got those 12 plexi cushion courts. They've got that lighting. They've got the stadium. I mean, it is really just high level. It's really next level.
Yeah, because you had UCF and Michigan last year playing. The men on one side playing a whole team match. The women on the other side playing a whole team match. My brothers went to Michigan, so I snagged a couple of Michigan shirts from there. But still, it was just amazing just to see that happening right here. But the cool part was you could watch it all over the world on the Tennis Channel, which is fantastic.
That's got to make our players feel pretty cool. I know it would have been great for me.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Hannah has some work to do now. She can't let any more games drop. She's got to hold here and then break. So these are a couple of important games for her. Off to a good start. All right, that wide service seemed to work pretty well for her today. I've noticed that when she serves the ball wide. Azaria has made maybe a few more unforced errors off that ball. All right, nothing to worry about. Just hold and serve. A little bit more difficult when it's 3-5, knowing that you have to win this game. And the key is just saying, hey, this is just like, when you watch those top players out there, like when I would watch Federer play, I'd always tell my son who I coach, I'd say, look, you don't know if he's up 5-0 or down 5-0 because he looks the same, and he treats every point the same. And if you're going to lose, and you want to go out swinging and lose on your own terms. You don't want to lose. Like, she doesn't want to lose by being careful. Huge backhand down the line, pumping herself up there. Oh, yeah. All right, amazing shot, and she's not giving up. She's not giving up at all. She's like, you know what? I'm still in this, and like we were saying, that's what you have to do. She's gonna win or lose on her own terms. All right, let's switch over to the boys over here. We got Kent over here. I believe he's up 30-15, and or Hugh is down 15-30, but he's on the due side now, so let's see what happens here with the score. It's either 30-all. Okay, it's 30-all. Good looking serve. You might have called that out, though, but a little bummed right there, but great looking serve. Hey, Kent's 28-1, man. It's an honor playing this guy.
And he's getting a little taste of what it's going to be like in college, so everything is positive.
Right, and Hugh you could just tell that things just aren't going right for him today. He's probably not where he was. I didn't watch any of his other matches, but you can just tell, I think, through his mind, it's like, man, I just made that forehand like 150 times the last 3 days. And it's just not his day today. Now, in your mind right here, and this is super hard at 30-40, this is match point right here. No, it's not. It's game point. To say to yourself, okay, Let's see if I can come back and win this set. I'm down 5-0. Let's see. And I've had players do that before. Say,
This is my specialty right here.
Yeah, I'm going to see.
In college.
If I'm going to lose this match, that's okay. But I don't want my UTR to go down, so I'm going to focus on my UTR. Next thing you know, they win the set, and they're winning the third set. So, all right, here we go. Now Now we got it right. So it is. All right. Well. So I'm going to finish off here, and I know that Yasmin's going to go down, and the matches are almost coming to an end. So we're going to have you talking to some of the players, hopefully down on court.
Is that salt for camera?
I'm not sure, but I think the girls' match may have just come to an end. I don't know if we can switch over to that. We got deuce in this game, if it's possible. And yes, it looks like the match is over, and Azaria must have won that 6-3. So we've got some cameras going on, but a great match and a great comeback by Hannah in that second set. She seemed to be turning things around. Things seem to be going her way. She seemed to be getting some momentum going a little bit, which will help her in her next match. And that's the key, even if you're down 5-0, okay, like Hugh is right here. All right, he just won a couple of big points. And really, you have to just say, look, I've got to try to figure out a way to gain some momentum, even if I'm going to lose the match right here. And he's not necessarily going to lose a match. I would never, fall to that. But still, he wants to get as much experience as he can playing this type of player. So the next time he comes up and plays this player, he's going to know what to do. He's going to feel a little more comfortable. All right, second serve coming up, but he's got Ad on his side. Trying to figure it out. Nice deep return. Oh, Kent just takes that forehand down the line. And really, just the way he just moves so well running around that. It's real tough to read, for Hugh anyway, where he's going with that ball. All right, back to deuce, first serve. Hugh's trying to figure this out. I don't have stats for the second set, but I think you're going to see it's pretty similar than they were the first set. All right, second serve. Nice. I think that was good. So that gives Hugh once again the ad. You can see you got people over there just going, hey, what's going on over here, man? On court 2, this is one heck of a match. I want to check this out. So hopefully Hugh can win this game and win a few more to give them some great entertainment. And he, I believe, a little bit long on that first serve. All right, just a little off balance again on that backhand. All right, the right move, trying to chip the ball, but just his feet a little heavy on that shot. Brings it back to deuce. So important right here. I mean, even for Kent, just to say, okay, I'm up 5-0. I'm going to keep doing what I did to get to 5. So important. I mean, it's so easy sometimes, especially in our younger players, to go out there and say, okay, I'm up 5-0, like we said earlier. All I'm going to do is get the ball back and let them make the mistake. But Kent's not doing that. Kent's hitting really aggressively. He's trying to get to the net. He's running on his backhand. He's really being aggressive with his forehand. So he should continue to do that. Whether he makes or misses it, he's got to finish the match out on his terms. All right, and real important for him. Like that, no big deal. All right. Hugh's got to try to just get a few points in here and there to try to pick up a little bit to see what he can do. And again, just to take your time. I mean, it's important for Hugh right now. Kent's ready to go. He's turning around. He's ready to go. He wants to serve right now. He wants to get this thing over with. Hugh should be taking his time a little bit, which he's doing a really good job of. All right, keeping Kent a little bit on edge. And saying, you know what, you're up 5-0, but I'm going to decide when this point starts. I'm in control of this point, of when it starts. All right, and there we go. He's got his first game. Now he's got to say to himself, okay, I won 3 games the first out. I just won 1 game right there. Now I've got to be able to win 2 games. If I can win 2 games, Why can't they win 4 games? But he's got to break serve to win 2 games. And Kent's got a pretty good serve. And again, freezes up. Good job, Hugh. All right, took that. I think that was I thought that was a little bit wide, but Hugh played that. Got the short ball. All right, so Hugh was moving. I'll give him that right there. May have not made the best choice on that approach shot because he left that point, that side of the court, wide open. All right, Kent took full advantage of it. All right, maybe going down the line a little bit lower would have given him a little more time to recover, to get in position. All right, didn't give him a lot of time going cross court there to really get over there to cover that ball, and he definitely didn't hit it deep enough. All right, Kent just working that forehand, just really taking full control during these points. And you can see right now he's ready to go. Give me the ball, let's go. I'm ready to go. So Hugh right now should be taking his time, making him wait a little bit within the rules without going over. Okay, and a double fault. Okay, now Yasmin, she's making her way down in the court right now to talk to our winners, but we're going to stay on this match until it's over. I believe the girls are going to wait until this match is over. If not, we will go directly over to her. But right now, Kent's looking to end this match, serving at 30-15. And right now he's got double match point against Hugh Richardson. Oh, and there it is. There's match point up the center. Fantastic serve. 2 gentlemen, though. I'll give them that right there for sure. It's just great to see that. It's just so great to see in junior tennis. Hugh making his way up. Slowly, Kent's saying, I want to get another drink of that water, but just 2 gentlemen right there. Great match. That's just so good to see because you don't see that all the time these days. And real respectful of each other. Congratulations. And like I said, Yasmin is on her way, or she's probably down there right now. We got some pictures to take right now. She's on her way down to the court, all right, to talk to the players. But in the meantime, 2 good finals. All right, congratulations to Azaria and congratulations to Kent. All right, getting all the way through to the end on a very hot week here at the USTA National Campus. All right, and 2 guys getting ready to get their picture taken. All right, I guess I got it right there. And the table's coming out for the tournament ending ceremonies here at the National Campus. And as you can see here, this match is being brought to you by both some of our video services department's cameras, but also by PlaySite. We've got PlaySite right now on 32 courts, and PlaySite is just amazing here at the National Campus. It's just, for me, it gives all our players multi-angle video reviews. You can record matches and stream live matches on here, stroke analysis. There's audible live line calling. You can even challenge. You could play a match and use PlaySite to challenge calls with PlaySite, and gamify target areas. Like if I'm working with my son, I can divide the court into 16 boxes and say, okay, I need you to hit all your shots here. PlaySite, just an amazing opportunity for us here at the campus to be partnering with them. And as we like to call ourselves the hub of innovation, PlaySite is definitely making that dream a reality. And the great thing about it here too is no matter what courts these guys are playing on, we can grab the stream from those cameras, and you can too at home. If you've got someone who's playing, you can go to USTAnationalcampus.com, and well, number one, you can go to play and sign up for some of those amazing programs we were talking about, learn more about our summer camps. But if you go to watch, you'll see that these matches are being streamed live at USTAnationalcampus.com All right, and Yasmin is about to grab some of the players here and talk to some of the players. So we're gonna, once she's ready to go, let her talk to some of our players. But in the meantime, just very fortunate to have play site and just other opportunities here at the national campus. And what a great day. It was great working here with Yasmin up in the booth, and getting a chance to even get to know her a little bit better. And it's amazing what D&I is doing, trying to make tennis like America. When I heard them have that mission statement, I said, that's just fantastic. That is a great mission statement. Make tennis like America. I mean, we got to win with a mission statement like that. And you can see she's making her way across the court. So to talk to Alrighty, so still everybody's waiting around court right now to just check out the ceremony here. Everybody's supporting this event, and wherever I walked, like we said earlier, this place was packed all week long. I mean, the support that this place has with all the players, parents, staff, everybody, amazing. And it was just great to see tennis from, like we said, 10 years old to 75 years old. And it looks like Yasmin has grabbed Kent. All right, and is going to be talking to him soon, and she's probably, I'm guessing, looking for Azaria as well. Talk. All right, and I guess I just got handed some stats from the second set. Not sure if we'll go over those or not, but it looks to be the same basic stats as we saw in the first set. But we may take a look at those in a little bit. But in the meantime, just trying to round everybody up out here to end what was a phenomenal week of tennis. So happy to have this event out here. So much fun to watch. Action, like we said, all day long. There wasn't, a time where I looked out my window where I work and didn't see matches going on. All right, we're going to head on down to Yasmin.
I'd like to welcome all of you to this was the ATA National Championship, and we had the girls 18, and I'd like to congratulate the finalists, Miss Hayes. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Wrong one. Thank you. Congratulations. And now this is. I'd like to congratulate Miss being our championship, and thank you for playing, and congratulations. I hope to see you all again. Welcome for coming to the ATA. And I got the guys, Richardson and Hunter. This is the boys 18 championship. This is Mr. Richardson. Thank you for playing and being our finalist in the boys 18. Mr. Hunter, thank you for playing and being our boys 18 championship.
I'd like to keep you all here for a second. So this has been our 101st ATA Boys and Girls National Championship match. So congratulations to all of you all. I would like to say congratulations for making it through this heat. So I have a couple questions for all of you. First of all, for our winners, how does it feel for each of you to be the 101st Boys and Girls Championship, or champion of the ATA?
It feels good. I'm just happy to play and being given the opportunity to play this tournament, even though it is really hot. Yeah.
What about you, sir?
It's pretty amazing. Frankly, I didn't think I could do it, but I made it through, so I'm just happy to be here now.
That's great. And I'd also like to ask our runners-up, if we can call them that. I think you all are still champions as well. Can you tell me, how did you prepare for this tournament, and particularly for this heat?
Man, I did a lot back in LA. I had family, coaches, everyone just pushing me every single day to get to where I am right now.
Awesome. What about you, sir?
Just making the best out of every day. Making the best out of every day, making sure, I'm physically right, getting ready for the heat, I thought I was going to die out here, so.
It's a bit rough. So the ATAs is like a family reunion for all of us. I know some of you are here for the very first time, but I think the atmosphere really kind of speaks to the support that we have across the country just for all of our young up-and-coming players. So I know that, I hope you know, that the ATA and the USTA is behind you every step of the way. We're rooting for you. We want to see y'all play in college, so we're going to be watching you. Hopefully you'll be over here at our Collegiate Center someday. The final question I'd like to ask you is, what does the ATA Championships mean to you, and how is this atmosphere for you? You've all played tournaments before. How is this particular atmosphere of the ATA Championships for you? I'll start at the end.
It means a lot. I don't know. I just feel very good playing here. It's just great. I feel very honored.
Awesome.
I think just the community is different, considering this is like a tournament that kind of paved the way for us to be here with all the, well, not the atmosphere, but what they had to go through before, just being turned away from tennis courts and stuff like that. So I think it just means a lot what this tournament represents versus like other tournaments.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I think the atmosphere is quite something, actually. I mean, to have the opportunity to come out here, I've got all my family. Everybody came out here to support me, my coaches. I mean, it's quite amazing. I'm just glad I had the opportunity to play here.
Awesome.
I mean, I came here by myself, but the atmosphere is great. I got my second family over there, and like everybody supporting. It was fun. It's fun playing in front of everybody and having a good time playing. Yeah.
Great. Well, I was impressed with everyone's game, and just so you know, past winners and competitors of this particular event include our own USTA president, Katrina Adams, which is pretty amazing. Also, a well-known lady by the name of Althea Gibson, which is pretty awesome, and a legendary icon, Arthur Ashe. So congratulations on being in the ranks with those amazing people. You guys will go down in history as playing this tournament, and we can't wait to see more from all of you. Thank you so much, USTA National Campus.
All right, so there you have it, and congratulations once again to Hugh Richardson and Hannah Moss for this year's 2018 ATA Championships runners-up, and for Kent Hunter and Azaria Hayes, the 2018 ATA 18 and under National Championships. For Yasmin Osborne, I'm Chris Michalowski, Coach Mick. Thanks for watching. Good day from the home of American tennis.